Hi, I'm Shaul. In the last video I praised the lens, the Carl Zeiss Sienna 135 f3.5, this one. It's a sonar design, 4 elements in 3 groups, a very simple construction that makes beautiful images. A viewer with the name of Eddie S. commented that he would like to buy this lens after what I said. He wrote that he already had a 135 millimeter lens, the Nikon F 135 f2, which is a nice lens. It was designed, I think, in the early 2000s, and it is quite a good portrait lens, quite poppy. So I asked him, why would you need 2 135 lenses? It's such an obscure focal length with such a limited use case. So we answered, I have GAS, gear acquisition syndrome. And since I'm going to buy a new lens anyway, let it be a cheaper one. I don't really want to spend a lot of money to satisfy my disease. Then DS went on explaining that lenses are like different flavors of cake. Sometimes you have to eat sugar-free, healthy cakes, but what you really want to eat is a strawberry cake full of sugar and cream. That makes you fat. I like the acknowledgement that gas is a condition that can't be cured. You have to live with it. And to live with it, you have to channel it to less harmful places. There are 3 reasons we buy all this gear. The first one is the desire to get better results, mainly as we look at other photographers' images, and we want to copy the photos they obtain by using certain types of gear. The second reason is the experience. For example, modern 135 portrait lenses with fast apertures are quite large. They're around a kilo in weight, while this lens is only about 400 grams, much lighter, much smaller, much less intimidating to your subject. So there are advantages in using different types of gear for different users, different applications. Some types of gear, some models have an advantage in operation. For example, a faster, more reliable autofocus. And let us not forget the social declaration when mounting a large lens on a camera. You are perceived as a more professional photographer, someone with some authority who knows what they are doing. The real reason, mostly, for the existence of gas is the feeling of reward we get from a good dopamine rush. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter. It is produced in our neurons, in our brain. They are in charge of the sensation of satisfaction, of reward. We tend to engage in behaviors that encourage dopamine secretion. For example, some of us like having sex. Some of us like taking drugs. And some of us like buying pieces of photographic kit. All those things encourage the production of dopamine, and that gives us this warm, fuzzy feeling of reward, of satisfaction. The reasonable approach to fight gas is by asking yourself what problem would that new item solve? You can get on with it and buy that item only if you are a good boy and come up with a good answer to that question. Defining a need is not so straightforward, because sometimes you try to solve a problem that is not current, that is a potential problem. For example, let's say you are a street photographer who uses wide-angle lenses. There is no good reason for you to buy a long telephoto, specializes in birding. Being able to photograph birds is not a real problem you have. It's a potential problem. It's something you may have a need for in the future at some point. But it's not a problem you have encountered. And we all know that the reasonable approach to curing gas does not work. So what I suggest is adopting an unreasonable approach. Imagine that gas is a demon sitting on your shoulder and whispering in your ear, buy this item, buy this lens, buy this new camera. This cute little demon is a friend, an old friend. You have known it for years, and you don't really want to get rid of it. You only want to keep it at bay, so it doesn't take over your life. That little green demon feeds on dopamine, but you do not want it to grow too much, take over. So from time to time, occasionally, you feed it with a new item you don't need. And it's okay. You like those occasional rushes of dopamine given to you by that anticipation for the new item and the enjoyment of a new toy you can try and test. And it might even be helpful. However, the more dopamine you give the demon, the bigger it gets. And the bigger it gets, the hungrier it gets. So you need to keep feeding it more and more often until it takes over your life, until that process of buying new gear takes too much attention from you. If you're not careful, it might become a real financial issue. Along the years, I adopted a few ways to keep this little demon small and friendly. One of them is to ignore two kinds of information you keep hearing in the context of photographic gear. One of them is numbers. Numbers are made for engineers, not for photographers. They are meaningless. When you try to correlate the specifications of a certain item to your satisfaction from the images you get, most of the time there is no connection at all. Often we obtain the best results from simpler, less technically advanced pieces of gear. Just ignore the numbers. The second type of information you should ignore is superlative. When someone tells you a camera or a lens or another piece of gear is amazing or incredible, be careful. This is the language of someone who tries to sell you something. Be specific in the advice you listen to. Look at photographs with a critical eye. Look at a lot of photographs made with a piece of kit to decrease the uncertainty of what a piece of kit is able to produce. Pay attention to adjectives, to words like less or more, relative terms, to specific words used to describe the results obtained by a piece of kit, rather than those superlatives that really don't mean anything. Next, once you find an item that you like, that produces the results you are after, just stop looking further. The chances of something else being out there that might give you much better results, that are visibly different, are very slim. For example, this lens, I'm sorry, I get back to it. It's an item I did not use much. I did not buy it intentionally. It just came in a bundle with other Carl-Zeiss lenses. And I didn't use it much. I didn't really pay attention to what it is capable of. But this week I went out to our local pub and there weren't many people, so I thought I might try taking some portraits. This is the lens I had in my bag. So I took it out, mounted it on my camera and just took some candid shots of two guys playing pool. And the results are astonishing. I couldn't hope for a better portrait lens than this one. The subjects really look alive. This lens portrays who they are, not just what they look like. So once you find an item that gives you the results you were after, just stop looking. Nothing good will come out of that. The next advice is set yourself some rules for purchasing new stuff. For example, I have learned through experience that large filter diameters are detrimental to true-to-life rendition. All those new, very fast primes that contain a lot of low dispersion glass have big front elements and big filter diameters. So I set myself a rule to never buy a lens with a filter thread larger than 67. The lenses I really like using are 49 millimeters or less. And I don't think I have ever used a lens with a 77 or 82 millimeter filter thread that I liked. So this is something that I learned through making mistakes. Another rule I set for myself is to have a double justification for buying an item. For example, there is a new lens that I have ordered. Perhaps I'll talk to it in the next video once I receive it. It's a lens that I know I will not use much. According to its optical design, it should not be anything special. It's a modern design that might produce images that are too flat for my taste. But looking at samples online, I noticed that it does have some pop. So I would like to try it for this YouTube channel. This is one justification. The second justification is that it's a focal length that I find useful for portraits. It's a little bit more than 50 millimeters, and I really like those focals for my portraits because they allow me to include some context in the images. I don't like very much those longer portrait lenses. So this is the second justification. Set your own rules. For instance, set a rule to yourself that you only buy silver items. You only buy items made of metal. You only buy items that are 10 years old or older. The unfortunate consequence of gas is you might become a hoarder of photographic gear. And all that gear takes a lot of space, physical space, but even more importantly, it becomes a weight on your psyche. Perhaps the ultimate measure to control gas, to keep it at bay, is to try inverse gas. By that I mean decluttering or getting rid of some of those items. That might give you a long-lasting dopamine rush that might have a positive impact on your life and on your photography. The less gear you have, the more you like all this gear you have, the more liberated you feel to really take photos, to exercise your hobby. There are two competing philosophies. One of them is that perfection comes when there is nothing else to add. The other one is perfection comes when there is nothing else to remove. I have finally decided it's about time I got rid of some of my lenses. I have quite a vast collection, and of course most of those optics are never to be used by me. But other photographers might enjoy those lenses. So I decided to put 11 of my lenses on eBay for sale, open an auction for each one and see what I can get for them. I'm not overly optimistic, of course. Before I do that, I want to give the viewers of this channel a chance to obtain them for a really good price. So I'll put a list of those lenses on the screen and also down in the description below. And if you would like to buy one of them, just drop me an email. All those lenses have hardly been used. I don't really like them, to be honest, so I don't use them much. And if you like this kind of rendition that is very detailed, that is suitable to some types of photography, I'm offering each of those lenses for a price of $200 US plus the shipping cost. So just drop me an email if you want one of them, or maybe more. Anyway, that is all for today. Remember that gas might be incurable, but it is controllable. See you again soon.